Who can refuse a deal like that? Sign the thing!
As you wish.
We have a deal? Seriously?
All that I ask is that for as long as this farce goes on, you'll be my fiancée, whenever, wherever, and however I desire you to be.
Why Raeliana ended up at Duke's Mansion, episode number 2. I have talked about this a couple of times now this season, and, with a couple of different anime, and while watching episode number 2, there's something addictive about the anime. Like, there's something that, it pulls you in, you know what I mean? And I think there's some prerequisites, and what I mean by that is, before you jump into an anime like this, there's some boxes that you need to have pre-checked before watching. I think you need to be interested in, and this sounds crazy, but a lot of people don't like it, you know what I mean? But you have to be okay with the lead character being a female character, okay? You have to be okay with what that entails. Most of my favorite anime that have a female lead character, I think if I think of anime off the top of my head, I think of a couple of the villainous anime, and I think about Saint's Power is Omnipotent, right? And when you have a female lead character, it's typically her, and then she may have one or multiple love interests, and you need to be interested in seeing those things. And I think it's okay to say if you are or aren't. The other thing is you have to be okay with these villainous type stories of somebody coming in, getting revenge or plotting, or maybe being not the damsel in distress, but somebody who is kind of doing things behind the scenes, such as she is here. And the fourth thing is you have to be okay with drama. And that's one thing that I've noticed that a lot of these anime that are very similar in tone and storytelling is they Bibliophile Princesses. I think about it from last season, or maybe it was the season before, but you have to be okay with slower pace but drama, and the drama is that juiciness, you know what I mean? It's that tea, it's that juiciness that draws you in. And I think, if you're not okay with any of that, I think it's okay to say, hey, this is just not for me. I do it to anime all the time, this is, I gave it a shot. It's just not for me. It swings too far to the, to the right or to the left, this way or this way, and it just doesn't. It didn't hit for me. So I think that's okay. But wow, with episode number 2, this has the tea. It's got the drama. It's got the juice. Raeliana goes and she meets the. First off, the Duke comes to her house. Flower bouquet and everything. He comes the day after that they met. She wakes up blitzed out of her mind, which means she's super hungover, which apparently the books didn't cover that Raeliana is a lightweight. And she then goes to visit him at his home, and she tries to bait him, with info that she knows from the book. She tries to bait him again and again and again. And he's just not buying it. Even if all of what she's saying is true, he's not biting on any of this. He's I don't care if she knows all of this. I'm not biting. But what finally gets him to bite is the fact that she mentions, hey, I see your chessboard there. She put 2 and 2 together. She said, okay, this chessboard represents the kingdom and the different pieces that he's moving around. And she was like, you have a piece that's out of place. And she mentions, somebody coming into, I think, a baronhood and somebody taking over a certain family that's going to shift the powers in the kingdom. And that is what gets him to bite. So he finally signs a contract with her. He lets her know that she is going to have to be his fiance now, for the next 6 months or whatever. And she's going to have to move into his house. She's going to have to be wherever, whenever, and however he desires. She's at his beck and call. And I was like, that introduces a whole nother mix. Now, ultimately, we see, this is going to be something to where the Duke's going to fall for her, or she's going to be a vital piece. Or, they may just fall into this relationship, And I can't wait to see what pieces are going to fall in. And the other thing that's going to throw a kink in all this is what she uncovered, as she told us, the viewer, was what she uncovered was supposed to be uncovered later in life by the heroine, by the the main protagonist of the book. But she ended up uncovering all this. So when the main heroine comes in, what is that going to do? What kind of kinks is that going to throw into the mix here? I'm very, very interested in that. And then the episode ends with her getting a bodyguard assigned to her, who is an interesting fellow. And the episode ends with her finally moving into the Duke's mansion. So I can just see the writing on the board. This is going to be like drama filled. It's going to be juicy. She's going to probably have to do things that are kind of crazy. But she's probably going to succeed and maybe even exceed the Duke's expectation. She's probably even going to do things that maybe he wasn't expecting that's going to benefit him. And I just can't wait to see what happens. But he's so interesting. He's enigmatic. He is, his eyes pierce your soul, right? And I can't wait to see more of him because he's like, he's the devil in disguise kind of thing. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. And then on her side, she mentioned it too, and I think that eventually I can't wait till she kind of gets over this, but when she was talking to her parents about breaking off the wedding and stuff, and her parents let her know, like, we're kind of glad that you're doing this because we have always felt that you've always put us before yourself and the family. And she explained that to them, and she was feeling guilty about how understanding they were. And even though this might put Pops in like a certain predicament business-wise, he was like, I love you. You're my daughter. You know what I mean? Like, if this is not what you want, we wish you would have came to us before the engagement went through. We would have made sure this never happened. And she felt guilty because the love that they're exuding towards her, she feels guilty that she's not actually Raeliana. And hopefully, as the anime goes on, hopefully she'll start to realize that she is now. That unfortunately you can't take back the fact that you've landed in this body. You can't take back the fact that you're technically dead in the other world, and this is you now. And you can't make the prior Raeliana come back. So she has to deal with the fact that she is Raeliana now, and she has to kind of, accept herself so that others can accept her too, So again, very interesting premise and things that are happening within the anime, but I'm loving it so far. I don't know if I'm going to be covering it all season long. I'm crunching some numbers today to figure out what my final list is, but regardless, we're at least up to episode 3. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode down in the comments below, and thank you guys for being here. Also, the dub was today. Apparently, it's getting dubbed side by side. Dub, fire. All right, peace.